A cheerful good morning and a very warm welcome to one and all present today in the science class. I, Gaurav Kumar Divedi, again welcome you back on behalf of Sunbeam Academy. And at the same time, before going ahead with this today's session, first and the foremost thing, I would like to brief you little bit regarding the things which we are going to do today. Like if you can see here, okay, that is the very first thing what we are going to do today is we have already completed our chapter, that is the sun, the earth and the moon. Okay, yesterday only we have completed the explanation of this chapter. So today we will be going ahead with, and I hope what I remember is that we have already started with the define the following terms, your keywords and your take the correct answers and everything. So today once again I'm going to start with the very beginning, that is get set, that is the very first given on the very first page, the introductory question related to this chapter, and thereafter we will be going ahead with the rest of the exercises. Okay, if we will be able to complete this chapter today, okay, most probably we are going to do it today. If a lot of time will be left or if time permits, then we will be going ahead with the next chapter. I hope that is your changes in our environment. Okay, let us have a quick look over that, the syllabus as well, and thereafter we will be going ahead. Okay, so just after this chapter, that is term 2 annual. Okay, after this, okay, the sun, the earth and the moon. Okay, first the structure, the diagrams which we are going to draw here is, that is I'll be telling you what are the diagrams which we have to draw, and at the same time solar eclipse, lunar eclipse and everything. Okay, the changes, next chapter is, that is your changes in our environment. I have not uploaded the PDF of this chapter, that is changes in our environment. So most probably we'll be starting this chapter next week, or most probably in the new year itself, just after your your periodic test 2, and thereafter we will be going ahead with the last chapter, that is your natural disasters. Okay, so let us start with this chapter, the sun, the earth and the moon. Apart from this, I hope all of you would be preparing for your unit test very nicely, because already we have completed both the chapters long back. So I told you that the last 3 classes, that is most probably on the coming Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, we will be going for the Zoom classes, any one of them, okay, for the revision purpose for your both these chapters, or solving the doubts of in both these chapters. Okay, and at the same time I'll be telling you some more details regarding that. Okay, so with this, the last and the most important thing, that is the precautions which has to be taken regarding your COVID-19. Okay, as all of you know, that is this COVID-19 is fluctuating. Okay, we have got the vaccines as well, but it is going to take a lot of time, a little bit much more time to reach to each and everyone. Okay, so let's hope for the best, and let us hope that as soon as possible this would reach us, we would also get vaccinated, and let us resume our normal physical classrooms, physical life and everything as it was earlier. Okay, let us start with this. What we have seen here is, that is, okay, so yesterday what I remember is, that is we have already completed this chapter, that is the sun, the earth and the moon. And since we have already completed this chapter, let me just remind you once more, or let me just revise this chapter quickly, and thereafter the question answers and everything. And in the meanwhile we will keep on going, we will keep on doing the get set, the check the point, checkpoint and everything, whatever things are given in the book itself. Okay, or in the exercises, or the things which are to be done in this. Okay, so let us see here, the sun, the earth and the moon. Okay, if you remember, get set is the very first part which we used to do it in the bookish part. Okay, or it is the part of your book exercises only. Okay, so here it is, that is two things are there, that is if you can see, the sun, the moon and the earth. Three things are present here, out of which the sun is one of the stars, moon is one of the satellite, whereas earth is one of the planet. Okay, and we have six statements are there. It revolves around the earth, it is a satellite, it is the only planet to have life on it, 8 planets revolve around it, it is a star, it completes one rotation on its axis in 24 hours. So these are the six statements which has to be grouped up or matched up with all these three heavenly bodies, basically your sun, the moon and the earth here. Okay, let us match this one. Okay, that is, if we talk about the sun, so the very first thing, that is, it is a star. Okay, one of the things. Second, 8 planets revolve around it, because sun being in the center and rest all the planets, whether it is moon, the earth, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, Venus or whatever may be them, out of all these 8 planets, all the planets, they keep on revolving around the sun in their orbits, fixed orbits. Okay, so these are the two statements for the sun. 8 planets revolve around it and it is a star. Okay, next we have here, that is our moon. So moon is what? It is one of the satellites, that is your natural satellites, and it revolves around the earth. Okay, this moon keeps on revolving around the earth, and as a result of revolving around the earth, the different phases of the moon are being formed here. Okay, so these two are the points related to your moon. The next we have here, that is, it is the only planet to have life on it. Okay, that is the earth, because of its temperature. Just now, if you remember, here only we have discussed these are the conditions necessary, that is water, atmosphere, okay, soil, atmosphere, right amount of heat and light, and the gravitational force, right amount of gravitational force as well. Okay, so in this way, first point is this one, which is matching to this earth planet, and next one, it completes one rotation on its axis in 24 hours, and just because of this one complete rotation in 24 hours, we are able to have the day and the night, that is 12 hours day and 12 hours night. Okay, so let us go to the next part. Okay, so here we have seen, that is, what is the sun made up of. Okay, and all these things we have already discussed. Here we discussed about what is earth made up of, and at the same time what is the internal structure of the earth, that is, the earth is made up of crust, mantle and core, having iron in the molten state. Next we have here is, that is your checkpoint. Okay, so let me keep on showing you the bookish exercises as well, so that when it will be shared to you, you also get a clear idea what you have to write it down, and please match it from this. Okay, so that you do not get any kind of problems there. Book exercises, of course, this is the book exercises. Okay, so here if you can say, get set, this one I have told you just now, sun, 8 planets and it is a star, moon revolves around the earth and it is a satellite, earth, it is the only planet to have life on it, completes one rotation on its axis in 24 hours. Okay, let us move to the next part, that is your checkpoint. Okay, when we are talking about this checkpoint, so already we have discussed, but still let us discuss it once more. The very first one, that is the diameter of the sun is about 110 times the diameter of the earth. If you can see, I have shown you previously as well. The diameter of the sun is about 110 times the diameter of the earth. Okay, so first will be your 110, followed by the energy from the sun is called the solar energy. Okay, nearly 3/4 of the earth's surface is covered with water. Okay, next the layer between the core and the crust. Okay, between this core and the crust we have only one layer, that is your mantle. Okay, it's called the mantle. The inner core is mostly made up of iron. Okay, molten iron and nickel. So here we have 110, solar, water, mantle and your iron. Let us see the answers. Okay, so 110, solar, water, mantle and your iron. Okay, next let us move ahead with the Let us phases of the moon we have already discussed. Again, we will be discussing it in the question answers as well. Okay. Okay. So here it is, the very first thing. Satellites also we have discussed yesterday only. The famous person APJ Abdul Kalam. This one I hope all of you would have done as I gave you as a homework. Okay. Next we have let us answer. That is the very first one, A part. Tick the correct answers. In this case, what is there? That is the very first thing. Any object that revolves around a planet in a fixed path, that is known as your satellite. Okay, because crater is the deep holes, the star is something else only, and meteorites are the heavenly bodies which keep on hitting one or the other planets there. Okay, so in this way, the very first one in this case will be your satellite. Okay, that is your C. The next one we have here, that is the outermost layer of the earth, is called the crust. Just now we have seen here. The moon completes one revolution around the earth in 27.3 days. Okay, I have shown you this one as well. Okay, here it is. Okay, it here is representing your moon. That is, the moon takes about the same time, 27.3 days, to complete one rotation around the axis. Okay, so the moon completes one revolution as well as rotation. I'm sorry, I showed you the rotation. Okay, so the moon revolves around the earth. It completes one revolution around the earth in 27.3 days, and in the same way it also rotates also and completes one rotation in 27.3 days. Next we have here, that is here, when the size of the bright portion of the moon grows, it is known as the waxing phase, I hope, right? Okay, see, the size of the moon is decreasing. That is basically we are not able to see the complete moon. It means it is decreasing, so that is known as the waning phase, and the size is increasing little bit, much more, much more, much more, much more. That is the waxing crescent. Okay, the next we have here is, that is your last part. A scientist who studies the objects in space such as stars, moons and planets is called an astronomer. Yesterday only we have discussed this part. Okay, you see here, a scientist who studies objects in space such as stars, moons, planets, comets, meteors, etc. is called an astronomer. Okay, so in this way, first one we have completed. So first one is C, A, B, C, A, B, B, B. Okay, let us see the answers. Okay, so it's C, A, B, B, B. All right. There was a misprinting of the capital and the smalls. These are representing the options there. Okay, let us move ahead with the next one we have here, that is match the columns. So the very first one we have, that is the moon, which is one of the natural satellite, if you remember. Okay, I told you that is two satellites are there. One is your natural and one is the artificial, that is your made by the man itself. So moon is one of the natural satellite because it keeps on revolving around the earth. Sun is a ball of hot gases. Okay, earth has water in the liquid form. Okay, Sputnik is the name of an artificial satellite. Okay, if you remember here, which was the first satellite to be launched by Russia. Okay, Sputnik was the first man-made satellite, that is your artificial satellite. Okay, Sputnik is the artificial satellite. Mantle is the hot molten rocks. Okay, so first is your C, A, B, E, D. C, A, B, E, D. Let us see the answer here. C, A, B, E, D. All right, C, A, B, E, D. All right. The next one we have here, that is here, write true for T for true and F for false, and also correct the following false statements. Okay, so the reaction of gases in the sun takes place at its surface. Okay, that is, the reaction of gases takes place in the sun takes place at its surface? No. Okay, just if you remember, all the reactions which are taking place, they take place at the center of the sun. Okay, see here, there is a statement also. And these sun is made of gases that react vigorously. Okay, and these reactions take place at the center of the sun. Okay, so the first statement is false, and these reactions take place at the center of the sun. Okay, next one, the inner core of the earth is in a liquid state. Okay, this is also false only. The inner core of the earth is in a molten state. Liquid nahi. See, there is a difference between molten and liquid. Okay, molten is your much more thicker as compared to liquid. Okay, okay, molten iron hai. The inner core is like a hot solid ball of mostly of iron. Okay, so basically the core is having the molten iron and nickel. Liquid के form में हमारी पानी की तरह नहीं होता है, but it is just like your honey or something like that, much more thicker than that as well. Okay, काफी गाढ़ा, मतलब molten का basically मतलब है गाढ़ा काफी. Okay, so here we have the next one. It is completely safe to observe a solar eclipse with the naked eyes. This is also false. It is completely not safe or unsafe to observe a solar eclipse with naked eyes. The next we have here, that is we can see the moon in the new moon phase. This is your false. Okay, अब यहाँ पे दो आंसर्स हो सकते हैं. We can see the moon in the full moon phase. ठीक है, ये देखिए फुल मून में आपको दिखा देता हूँ. ओके, फुल मून में हम लोग देख पा रहे हैं मून को. न्यू मून में बिल्कुल नहीं दिखता है, थोड़ा सा एकदम दिखाई देगा. ओके, या तो ये आंसर हो सकता है. ओके, दैट इज वी कैन सी द मून इन द फुल मून फेज, या तो दूसरा पार्ट इसका क्या हो सकता है, वी कैन नॉट सी द मून इन द न्यू मून फेज. या ये भी आंसर सही है. ओके, man-made satellites help in the forecast of weather. This is completely true. If you remember the communication satellites, for which one of them, that was your weather satellites as well, they gather information about the formation of movement of clouds here. Okay, the next we have here. Okay, पहले हम लोग बुकिश पार्ट कर लेते हैं. Okay, the next one here, name the following. The main source of energy for us, sun. अच्छा, पहले ये true false भी देख लीजिए. See here. Okay, all are false except for the last one, that is true. So reaction of gases takes place at the center. Inner core is like a hot solid ball that is in a molten state. It is not safe to observe a solar eclipse with naked eyes. We cannot see the moon in the new moon phase. And the last one is true, so we don't need to correct them. First one we have already discussed just now. Okay, the main source of energy for us is the sun. Let us see the next ones. The deepest and the hottest layer of the earth, crust. Giant holes that are found on the moon, that is known as your craters. Okay, the first satellite launched by India, that is your Aryabhat, as the name of the, on the name of the scientist as well. Okay, on the name of the scientist only. The first scientist to launch the satellite was your Aryabhat, and the name of the satellite was also Aryabhat only. Okay, so we have sun, core, and craters, and your Aryabhat. Let us see the answers. So we have sun, craters, core, craters, and Aryabhat. Okay, next one we have here, that is your do and learn. Okay, so this is shade the circles to show the phases of the moon. Mention below each of them. न्यू मून. ओके, आपको भी पता है न्यू मून में बिल्कुल भी नहीं दिखाई देता है. ओके, सो अ लिटिल बिट. ओके, थोड़ा सा एकदम पूरा शेड कर देंगे, एकदम हल्का सा छोड़ देंगे. वैक्सिंग थोड़ा सा इंक्रीज हो जाएगा, हाफ में आधा दिखेगा. वैक्सिंग गिब्स में आधा से ज़्यादा, फुल मून में पूरा दिखाई देगा. ऑलराइट, सो द पिक्चर विल बी समथिंग लाइक दिस, द सेम पिक्चर विच इज़ गिवन इन योर बुक्स. ये देखिए, न्यू मून थोड़ा सा दिखाई देगा, फिर वैक्सिंग थोड़ा सा उससे ज़्यादा, हाफ मून में हाफ दिखाई देगा, वैक्सिंग गिब्स में हाफ से ज़्यादा दिखाई देगा, फुल मून में कंप्लीटली दिखाई देगा. ऑलराइट, द लास्ट पार्ट, that is the science club when we are talking about. So here we have here, that is your India launched its first satellite Aryabhat on 19th of April 1975. Given below are some Indian satellites. Find out more about them and complete the following table. So we have here, that is your Bhaskara 1, INSAT 2E, INSAT 4A, Chandrayaan 1, Mars Orbiter Mission. Okay, so we have to collect the launch date as well as the purpose of them. That is for what they were launched into the space or into the Earth's orbit. Basically, what you will have to go through the Google in order to do that. Okay, I have done it, but please, I request you as well to cross verify it, so that might be possible that there can be mistake from my end also. So if it happens, please do correct it from your end. Okay, and at the same time, please do inform me as well. Okay, so these are the satellites. Bhaskara 1 was launched on 7th of June 1979, and it was launched for the purpose of the Earth observation, that is keeping an eye on the Earth. What is the events, what are the different things which are going on the surface of the Earth. Okay, INSAT 2E, that is launched on 3rd of April 1999. Okay, if you can see, after how long, after quite a long time this has been launched. Okay, just after, I hope, 20 years. Okay, 79, 89, 99, just after 20 years this communication satellite has been launched, and slowly our communication improved day by day. Then within a short span, INSAT 4A, that is 22nd of December 2005, this was also related to or for the communication only. Or basically you can say that this one was also for the communication satellite also only. The next we have here is, that is your Chandrayaan 1, 22nd of October 2008, to study the surface of the moon or to study the moon. Okay, Mars Orbiter Mission, that is 5th of November 2013, to study the Mars. And recently you can add one more here, that is the communication satellite which has been launched by India recently, last week only. Okay, I hope I have informed you regarding this. Now let us do the bookish part, the fair notebook part. So in this way we have completed all these things. Subject link: observe the moon on a clear night sky, note its shape and name its phase. Write a short note describing the moon in not more than 10 sentences. I hope this you can do it today night, and you can share it in the Zoom classes. Okay, or you can read it out in the Zoom classes. Take this as a homework. I request you, that is from Wednesday to Sunday or Monday, whenever you get the time, please have a look over the moon, okay, or a clear night sky. Note down its shape, try to draw a rough diagram, and just write it down. Short note describing the moon in not more than 10 sentences. If you are able to write 5 sentences also, that is more than enough. Okay, please write it down. Let us start with the question answers here. That is the short answers. How is energy produced in the sun? If you remember, energy is produced in the sun just because of the gases, reactions which are taking place. Okay. The sun is made up of gases that react vigorously. These reactions take place at the center, and this results in the release of large amounts of heat and light energy. Okay, so this is how the energy is generated into the sun. This is your fair notebook part. Okay, the sun is made up of gases that react vigorously, and this results in the release of large amounts of heat and light energy. Okay, next one we have here. Okay, let us go through this one only, because it is the same question answers which we have here. Okay, this is nothing new. Okay, let us go through this PDF only, which is having the question answers and everything. Okay, so the next one we have here is, that is, what is the middle layer of the earth called? You can just cross verify it from your books as well. Okay, the middle layer of the earth is called the mantle, and it is made up of hot molten rocks. Number 3 we have, how were the craters formed on the surface of the moon? So most of the craters on the moon were formed when meteors, big rocks from space, struck it millions of years ago. Okay. Next we have, what do you understand by the new moon? The phase of the moon in which the side facing the earth gets no sunlight is called the new moon. That is when you are not able to see the moon, that is known as your new moon. Okay. Answer these questions. The next one. Explain the internal structure of the earth with the help of a labeled diagram. Internal structure of the earth with the help of a labeled diagram. Alright, I forgot here to add the picture. So the outer layer of the earth is called the crust. The central region is called the core. And the middle layer between the crust and the core is called the mantle. Okay. So the figure which you are going to put here is this one. This is the figure which you are going to draw it here. This one. Okay. The crust, mantle and the core. If you are not able to draw this figure, you can just simply draw a simple circle and in the center core followed by mantle and the outer one representing the crust. You can draw it in that way as well, if you are not able to draw this one. What are the different phases of the moon? How are they formed? Okay, so the different phases of the moon is formed when the entire side of the moon facing the earth gets sunlight is called the full moon. So this is one of the phases. After 3 to 4 days, we can see the portion of the moon which is slightly smaller in size than the size of a full moon. This is called the gibbous moon. And after a week of the full moon, we see half of the moon. This is the half moon phase. Again, after 3 to 4 days, crescent moon, bow shaped. Then after 2 to 3 days, okay, at all, that is known as no sunlight, that is why known as the new moon. After the new moon phase, the bright portion of the moon increases. We again see the full moon after 14 to 15 days. Okay, now just with this only, okay, let me just open this one as well. What we have here is this is the syllabus. Okay, we have to draw the diagrams, structure of the earth and phases of the moon. ठीक है, तो अभी मैंने आपको बताया. Okay, structure of the earth when we are talking about. Okay, ये था हमारा क्वेश्चन. एक्सप्लेन द इंटरनल ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द अर्थ. तो यहाँ पे आप कौन सा डायग्राम ड्रॉ कर लोगे? यहाँ पे आप ड्रॉ कर लेंगे ये वाला डायग्राम, स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द अर्थ, ये जो मैंने आपको बताया. तो दोनों साइड से हो जाएगा, आपका क्वेश्चन आंसर के में ही हो जाएगा डायग्राम. नो नीड टू ड्रॉ इट अगेन एंड अगेन. ओके, द नेक्स्ट डायग्राम इज फेजेस ऑफ द मून. ठीक है, फेजेस ऑफ द मून में आप ये डायग्राम बनाएंगे. कहाँ पे बनाएंगे ये भी बता दे रहा हूँ. ये व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट फेजेस ऑफ द मून. इस आंसर में लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे ड्राइंग पेज पे आप फेजेस ऑफ द मून का डायग्राम बना देंगे. दैट इज योर दिस वन. ओके, next we have what is an eclipse, how does lunar eclipse occur and explain it with a labeled diagram. अब देखिए अपने सिलेबस में अगर आप देखोगे तो you will be able to find first diagram हो गया, second हो गया, solar and lunar eclipse. Two more diagrams are left. Lunar eclipse, the question has come. Okay, now see here. So how does it occur? That is during, so here I have drawn the I have attached the diagram as well. It is the same diagram which is given in your books. You can just draw this one. Okay, so during the movement, sometimes the sun, the earth and the moon, they come in a straight line. In such situations, the moon or the earth cast their shadows on the other. This results in blocking the view of the sun or the moon for some time. When we cannot see the sun or the moon for such regions, we call it an eclipse. Now when the earth comes in between the sun and the moon, it blocks the sunlight from reaching the moon's surface. Thus the shadow of earth falls on the moon and we cannot see the shaded part of the moon. Now this is called the lunar eclipse. During partial lunar eclipse, जब पूरा ग्रहण नहीं होता है, पूरा चंद्र ग्रहण नहीं होता है, so only a portion of the moon is covered by the earth's shadow. In a total lunar eclipse, the moon is completely covered by the earth's shadow. ठीक है, यहीं पे आप नीचे सोलर इक्लिप्स का भी डायग्राम बना लेंगे. ओके, नेक्स्ट थिंक एंड आंसर. हाउ वुड आवर मूवमेंट्स बी अफेक्टेड इफ द ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स ऑन द अर्थ बिकम सेम एज दैट ऑन द मून. ये याद रखिएगा, ये लूनर इक्लिप्स है एंड दिस इज योर सोलर इक्लिप्स. हियर इट इज. ओके, तो एक डायग्राम आंसर के साथ और एक डायग्राम एक्स्ट्रा उसी में बना दीजिए इक्लिप्स में ही, तो सोलर इक्लिप्स भी हो जाएगा. एंड नाउ आई थिंक you have completed your all the 4 diagrams. Structure of the earth हो गया, phases of the moon हो गया, solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. So in this way we have completed this entire chapter except for think and answer. So now let us see how would our movements be affected if the gravitational force on the earth becomes same as that on the moon. तो अगर दोनों लोगों का gravitational force, that is जो gravitational force यहाँ अर्थ पे है, अगर वो मून के जैसा ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स हो जाए, सो वी वुड नॉट बी एबल टू वॉक ऑन द अर्थ, वी वुड स्टार्ट फ्लोटिंग वाइल स्टेपिंग ऑन द ग्राउंड. हम जो भी काम करेंगे वही कंटिन्यू करते रह जाएंगे, वी विल नॉट बी एबल टू स्टॉप इट. ठीक है, हम पैर बढ़ाएंगे तो हमारा पैर ही आगे बढ़ता चला जाएगा, हम रोक ही नहीं पाएंगे अपने आप को. ओके, बिकॉज फ्रिक्शन बहुत कम होगा, ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स भी राइट अमाउंट में नहीं होगा. ओके, नेक्स्ट इज इफ ऑल ऑफ द सैटेलाइट्स ऑर्बिटिंग द अर्थ, here I hope the spelling is wrong here, so please do correct it. Okay, it should be single T here. Okay, so if all the satellites orbiting the earth were to be switched off for a day, how would it affect your life? List the various things that you would not be able to do because of this. Without satellites, facilities such as internet, mobile service, television would stop working. We would not be able to contact anyone or know about what's happening around the world. We will also be not able to receive any weather forecast. All right, so this was there for it. I hope you all would have complete it as soon as possible. Okay, because already it has gone a little bit much more time, but I think you would be able to compensate this one because I tried my level best to finish this chapter. Okay, so please complete your fair works and please do not forget to take all the necessary precautions. Okay, and please, my humble request, complete it as soon as possible because just after this you will have to start your revision or basically preparation for your unit test 2. Okay, so this was all for today. Thanks a lot for being with me and have a superb day ahead. Thank you.